What's going on, y'all? This is Big Larry with 5 Out Productions, man. This is my second episode. Today we're gonna talk about this. De'Aaron Fox going to the San Antonio Spurs. Zach LaVine from Chicago coming to Sacramento. And we're gonna talk about all the trade assets that the Bulls got in return as well, man. All today's episode. So start this off. I'm going to the trade. What happened? What got traded? Who went where? So De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin has been traded from Sacramento Kings over to the San Antonio Spurs. Sacramento Kings, in return, they get Zach LaVine, City Cisco, who is now waived, a 2025 first round pick protected from the Hornets. That's not gonna transfer over this draft season. 2027 first round pick from the San Antonio Spurs. They're gonna be good in a few years. So it's not going to be a valuable pick. It's not going to be lottery. It's going to be top 20 at best. A 2031 first round pick from the Minnesota Timberwolves unprotected. 6 years from now, Anthony Edwards will be in his 30s. We don't know what the team's going to look like. We don't know if Rudy Gobert is still going to be there. Probably not. He's going to be older. Julius Randle is going to be older. He might not be there. We have no clue what this roster is going to look like in 6 years. This could end up being a very valuable pick. They also got 2025 second round pick from the Chicago Bulls, 2028 second round pick from Denver Nuggets, and a 2028 second round pick from the Chicago Bulls again. Second round picks aren't too valuable, but they can bundle this up together to make another move in off season or something of that nature. Get maybe a cheaper guy, trade one of their expiring contracts, bring in some guy to come off the bench. That's probably what the seconds are going to be used for. And talk about Chicago. They get their own 2025 first round pick back. They are one of the struggling teams in the NBA, so this pick can end up being lottery, which is very good for them. They'll be able to make a move to get somebody, hopefully make the right decision, and make an improvement on their team to the young roster. And hopefully a forward, because they have a lot of guards right now. In addition to that, they got some role players from San Antonio. They got Trey Jones and Zach Collins. Zach Collins is a guy that can shoot the basket. And he's a backup center. Nothing too special, but he's a role player that you can move for some, capital. Trey Jones, just a solid point guard. Nothing special. Backup point guard on an expiring deal. Hopefully they can make a move in the offseason, like a sign-in trade, so they don't lose that asset completely. But Trey Jones, solid guy, but not moving the needle for anybody. And lastly, Kevin Huerter from Sacramento Kings. He had a killer season 2 years ago in Sacramento when they went on that playoff run with the beam, That whole run, man, he's been amazing. Since then, he kind of fell off and been declining a little bit. He's still a great three-point shooter, but defensive end, he's not too good at all. But hey, solid guy for the shooting. Nice little bench piece. Probably can make a move to flip him in the offseason as well. So to start this off, we're going to talk about the San Antonio Spurs and their perspective. Wemby is their guy. He had a lot of hype coming into the NBA, and he had an amazing, historic rookie season, man. Won Defensive Player of the Year, and he's probably going to win it again with the way he's been playing this season, too. He's the runner-up. He's a first place right now for that race. So they found their guy. But you need to pair him with another star. There's very, very rare that we see in the league one star player able to kind of win it all for their team. And heck, that might be Stephon Castle in the future, but they pulled their cards. They didn't give up too much capital either. They gave up some role players, some draft picks. 2031 is probably the most valuable pick that they had in that trade. But for De'Aaron Fox, it's more than worth it, man. More than worth it. So now they have De'Aaron Fox, they have Victor Wembanyama, and they didn't give up any of their young pieces either. They didn't lose Stephon Castle. They didn't lose Jeremy Socon. They didn't lose Keldon Johnson or anybody else of that nature. So this team is very, very solid, man. This is probably a playoff team. I wasn't looking at the Spurs as a playoff team at the beginning of the season. Victor Wembanyama has been sensational, but there's a lot of missing pieces on that roster. Bringing in another star in De'Aaron Fox to play the one for Victor. That's a nice pick and roll duo right there. Victor's being able to stretch the floor is going to open up more lanes for De'Aaron Fox to draw and get to the basket. This is a perfect fit in my opinion. And De'Aaron Fox is only 26. Wemby's 22. So nice, close in age. Perfect timeline for both of them. This is gonna be an amazing duo in the future. I can't wait to see it. And I think right now they're a playoff team. I mean, there's about 12 solid playoff teams in the Western Conference right now. I only had 11 before this trade with De'Aaron Fox. Now I think there's a solid 12 that are playoff worthy, but only 8 can make it. So we're gonna see about that. But yeah, this is gonna be an amazing pick and roll by them. Victor Wembanyama is better than Sabonis as far as the defensive end goes, so he's probably gonna have more defensive strides as well because, I mean, Sacramento they had De'Aaron Fox who's solid but not the best. Malik Monk solid, not the best. Keegan Murray was pretty elite 2 years ago. He's been declining a little bit too. It's kind of weird him being that young of an age and his game kind of slowing down a little bit. Hopefully he's able to pick that up with some more touches from this trade. But back to the Spurs, he has more defensive assets around him now. He has Victor, Jeremy, Barnes, which he had already, but still he's solid defensively. Cowden, Devin Vassell, Castle. He's a lot more defensive pieces around Fox now. So he's probably going to pick it up on the defensive end. This is the best defensive team he's played for. So I cannot wait to see what De'Aaron Fox will do with the Spurs. I think this is a playoff team. Especially with Chris Paul. I understand he's old, things of that nature. But he's going to be able to lead that bench, in my opinion. He's going to be able to orchestrate that bench. So they might not be the best defensively with that bench, but they're going to be able to make a play. Because Chris Paul is going to be there to play, make, and orchestrate the offense when De'Aaron Fox is on the bench and he's sitting out. So this is a A+ for the Spurs in my opinion. They gave up some capital, but they kept their young players and got De'Aaron Fox in return, a star that's going to fit with Wemby for the future. Fits his timeline, everything. Amazing pickup. One of the best trades this whole trade deadline. Now, Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox was their best player. There's a conversation if you want to argue Sabonis, but De'Aaron Fox is their best player in my opinion. And in return, they got Zach LaVine, which does not equate to De'Aaron Fox. Not super far away. He's having an amazing season this year in Chicago. But he definitely took a downturn on that. He got worse. Zach LaVine has been scoring amazing. Share my screen. I'll show you his stats in Chicago this year. He's been very solid. Give me one moment. Alright, look at my screen. We got Zach LaVine. Yeah, man. 42 games this year. 24 points per game on 50, 40, 80. Yep, 50, 40, 80. Yeah, that's wow. 50, 44. Yeah, he's been incredible. He's been absolutely incredible. I want to see how Fox compares to him, honestly, because he's been balling. Okay. Yeah, Fox is scoring 25 on 46, 32, and 82. Fox is definitely more of a clutch player, in my opinion, as far as him scoring the ball in clutch moments as compared to Zach LaVine. We also seen De'Aaron Fox rise up in the playoffs. Haven't seen that from LaVine in a while, at least. So I do consider, even though Zach LaVine's having the better stats right now, when we get into that playoff season, I think there's going to be a big differentiator as far as them playing together, as far as comparing them when they play. So, yes, so for the Kings, they have Monk at the point guard now. He's played point guard a little bit in Sacramento, especially when De'Aaron Fox has been out, especially with Devin Carter being out as well for I think last season and beginner of this season as well. So he has experience, but his true position is the two guard. So it's going to be um, interesting to see him adjust to a fully point guard position. He was averaging 5 assists this season. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. It's just going to be interesting to see him and how he molds with other people too, because they have DeMar DeRozan. He play makes a little bit. Sabonis play makes a little bit. So hopefully he doesn't have too much of a playmaking responsibility, because he does have other players on his team that can kind of assist him in that category. And he has Devin Carter off the bench for him, who's a defensive-minded point guard. So that's gonna help them benefit. That's gonna be beneficial for him as well. Then we got Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan back as same team as Chicago, in my opinion. I mean, Nikola Vucevic is a poor man, Sabonis, Kobe White, Malik Monk. There's comparison there. Patrick Williams, Keegan Murray. I mean, this is the same exact team. It's better though. I will say that this is a better Chicago Bulls team, especially when you have Keon Ellis, who's very nice defensively, coming off the bench for you. And talk about Sacramento, they picked up Jake LaVera, who's been amazing from the 3-point line this season. Adding him to the roster, adding him to the forward depth, that's a great pickup. He's gonna make some shots for you, and as far as when he gets the ball on the 3-point line, catch and shoot situations, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be ready. Can't wait to see that. And one of the most underrated moves, in my opinion, was Jonas Valanciunas. Amazing pickup, in my opinion, for the Sacramento Kings. Not only do they have one of the best centers in the league with Sabonis starting, but they have a guy that was arguably going to be the starting center for the Los Angeles Lakers as your backup. That's a very strong center rotation. It has to be one of the best in the league. That's going to be a hard center rotation to stop. Especially when you talk about the Lakers, who have no center right now. They have Jackson Hayes, Vanderbilt, some other dudes. I can't remember their names, man. I mean, it's going to be tough matchup for the Lakers if they play them. But regardless, that's a very good pickup. They have answers for the Mavericks and the Timberwolves, the Nuggets. They have an answer for it. Will it work? We'll see. But they have an answer. They have a nice rotation to go through. So, shout out to the Sacramento Kings for picking up Jonas Valanciunas, man. Underrated pickup. But back to the Kings with Zach LaVine. These duos played together. Him and DeMar DeRozan has played already. They had a similar plays with Vucevic and Sabonis. I think they're going to fit just fine. Zach LaVine's going to fit in there just fine. I don't think there's going to be any issues with that. My biggest adjustment would probably just be Malik Monk being a full-time point guard at the moment. That's going to be interesting to see. DeMar DeRozan and Malik Monk obviously had some dislike with De'Aaron Fox requesting a trade out. A big reason they came to that Sacramento Kings team. Big reason Malik Monk came back to that team. Big reason DeMar had this as a destination after leaving Chicago was because Fox was on the team and Sabonis. And now that Fox is gone, it's not what they signed up for. So there's a little bit of disgruntled in the front in the locker room. But DeMar and Zach LaVine, at least it was Zach LaVine that came to the team, not someone else. Because Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan have a strong relationship off the court. So hopefully it's not going to be too bad, too much of disgruntled with that. But DeMar DeRozan's a mature player. He's not one of those players that's going to be disgruntled like Jimmy Butler would. Same goes for Malik Monk. I see him as mature players. I don't think there's going to be an issue in the locker room. But that's something to take in mind because that's something they did come to play with, De'Aaron Fox. Him being gone kind of messes with them a little bit. Now I'll talk about Chicago Bulls, man. I'm a little disappointed in Chicago. They didn't trade Nikola Vucevic, who had an amazing season this year. This was a perfect time to trade him, get the most you can out of him, because he's not going to keep this up. He might not keep this up next season. His value might go down off season with his contract being 1 year less now. This was the time to move it, and he didn't do it. They couldn't find a deal to get it done. If that worked for them and the other team. A little disappointing. But to talk about the De'Aaron Fox move, they got in return Trey Jones, Kevin Herter, Zach Collins, and their own first round pick. The first round pick this season, I think they are. Let me check. What seed are the Chicago Bulls? Chicago Bulls are the 10th seed. Yeah, they're probably not gonna make the playoffs. Them Sixers have Joel Embiid. Oh no, he's injured. Never mind. Yeah, probably not gonna make it through the playoffs though. But yeah, they have their pick, so they're gonna be a lottery team. It's gonna be a lottery pick. So congrats to them for getting that pick back. Honestly, they're gonna be able to get a guy hopefully in the lottery that they make the right decision. They improve this team and mesh with the younger players on the roster already. So a good move by them. Now to talk about the Zach Collins and the Trey Jones, Kevin Herters of the world. I don't really see him fitting with the team. Trey Jones, they already have a bunch of point guards. They don't really need Trey Jones. And to utilize Zach Collins as the backup center for the next season, I don't see too much value. You guys are in a tanking slot right now, and you guys can get something younger asset, a rebuilding asset, in exchange for Zach Collins, Kevin Herter, and Trey Jones. I think they're hopefully they can make a sign and trade move with Trey Jones in the offseason. Right now he's on an expiring contract, so they could lose him for nothing. Hopefully they can get sign and trade to get done and send him somewhere where he can be a backup point guard, like the Milwaukee Bucks. I know they have DeLon Wright right now. Maybe they see Trey Jones as an improvement there. Who else needs a point guard? New York Knicks, honestly. The New York Knicks wouldn't be a bad spot either. Oh no, Knicks not DeLon Wright. I'm tripping. Yes, Trey Jones going to Milwaukee wouldn't be bad. Miami Heat wouldn't be terrible either. They do have Drew Smith, who's coming back. Maybe not the best spot for him in the future, but for next season, it could work. Lakers, honestly, man. I mean, Gabe Vincent and Shake Milton aren't the best backup point guards in my opinion. Trey Jones might be a better solution for them. So yeah, they have some moves they can make with Trey Jones. Get a sign-in trade, get a second round pick, something back, maybe a young player. Hopefully they can make that deal happen in the off season, but they could lose him for nothing, which would suck. He is a valuable piece in my opinion, rotational player. Zach Collins, same thing goes for him. He's a backup center. Nothing special about him. But I just don't agree with keeping these guys on the roster. They're kind of just wasting their talents and their value playing for non-winning basketball. Same goes for Kevin Herter. He's at a rougher season. His contract's a little less tradable, especially with the defensive, backup center, even if not too good on the defensive end. As long as you're somewhat solid, gonna get picked up because backup centers are hard to find. Good backup centers are hard to find. Zach Collins is pretty solid. And for Kevin Herter, it's gonna be harder to move him. He's a wing that can shoot the ball. Okay, not as good as he did once before. Let me check his stats real quick. I'll share the screen again. Yeah. Oh wow. I did not notice this. He's shooting. Yeah. He might not get moved. I mean, yeah. This is rough. 30% on 5 attempts. He might not get moved. Honestly, I take back everything I said. Wow. What's per 36? What do they say for this? 13 or 30. Yeah, same stuff. Okay. I take that back. Yeah, he's probably not going to get moved. Doesn't have the best contract, especially for his value after seeing his stats this season. He's probably just going to sit there, waste his money. Chicago Bulls are probably just going to waste his salary in the next season when it's expiring, and they'll get rid of him then. But yeah, he might be out the league. And numbers that bad, especially when you've already been declining. You're not showing any strides of getting back to that 2 years ago you. Tough situation, but he might be out of the league next year. But yeah, that's my opinion on everything. To recap everything, San Antonio's won this trade by a long shot. They've got their point guard for future to pair with Wemby, as well as keeping their young assets like a Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Jimmy Sogan. This team's going to be dangerous. I think they're a playoff team now with that acquisition. The shooting from Wemby is going to open up driving lanes for Fox. Now, Sabonis didn't have the best shooting ability to open the same lanes. So this is going to be pretty amazing to see. And this is going to be a playoff team, in my opinion. For the Chicago Bulls, they have some assets and role players. They have a pick this year in the lottery. Hopefully they can make a move and trade those role players, as well as draft that guy for them that's going to fit this roster and get some assets for those role players in the meantime to help this rebuild, and speed up the process. And for Sacramento, they replaced De'Aaron Fox talent with Zach LaVine talent, which is not a bad trade-off at all, given the situation that they had a week to do this. They kind of put their back against the wall and didn't have a lot of time to make a stronger move for them. So getting Zach LaVine in return, pairing him with DeMar DeRozan, which is a duo that works together. Not saying that they work for like a championship level roster, but they work together. They have good chemistry. Malik Monk adjustment to the point guard position full time is going to be my biggest X factor in my opinion. And then beautiful pickup from Jonas Valanciunas being there, as well as Jake LaVera being able to shoot the ball. Jonas Valanciunas off the bench for Sabonis, already a great, one of the best centers in the league. Going to be a very dangerous center rotation. And it's possibly could be a playoff team too. I think this is a playoff team. Like I said before, there's 12 playoff teams in my opinion. I'll probably make a video on the 12 playoff teams, who I think is going to make it. In my opinion on all of those teams as well. But for now, Sacramento is in a good shape. It's still going to be fun to enjoy. They have some picks in the future they can utilize too for rebuild, but they definitely should have gotten more. But again, their back was put against the wall. So that was it, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed my video talking about the De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs trade. Next video. You know what? I'm probably going to do Jimmy Butler to the Warriors. That's my next video. So I'm probably going to record that on Wednesday-ish. So stay tuned for that. But follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. I'm on everything. Give me subscribe, like, follow, whatever you want to do to show love and support, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all have a good one, alright?